What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. This video is just discussing my personal from experience of playing the game for nearly 9 years, the top 5 most hated PvP setups and that people seem to absolutely despise. They might be obviously valid for a lot of people, but I just from like a general over the years, you know, my opinion of the things that I hated the absolute most. And the first one will definitely be a heal bot or slash a tank, like a permablock tank. So I'll just put perma. Yeah, so a heal bot or perma tank, I'd put in, say, a number 5 for the most top 5 of hated PvP builds. People can't stand heal bots like a super high health healing warden or a block tank or a bomb magnet that doesn't actually deal any damage. These two sort of builds, I've just put them together. And they don't actually dispense any damage as such. Usually it's more just sort of for sheer trolling, as these are classed as like a troll build, and for sheer annoyance. But the heal bot does provide a lot of group support. Obviously, like I said, like a warden, super high health with polar wind, can be very, very strong in a group. Also, the permablock sort of a tank bot does also have some group utility, because obviously they can sort of tank all the damage and become a bomb magnet for a bomb to jump on and kill the opposing team. So even though they're really hated, they do still have a place in the PvP scene. They're just seen as a bit more of a troll and obnoxious. I don't really hate on any build, to be honest, or any build setup, because like I said, I think they all have their place. Yes, they can be annoying when you're on the other side of the fence, but there we go. So the next one I would say is a bomber, which is pretty much the opposite. So I put that in 4th place. Bombers again are hated because obviously you are killing a large amount of players in one hit. It's seen as like cheese, cowardly, blah blah blah. I still think it has its place, because again it does stop ball groups, and if there is, say, a overwhelming number of players on the opposite team, this allows it to turn the tide of the battle, as one would say. So definitely it takes a lot of skill as well to actually do bombing. A lot of people say it doesn't take any lot of skill. It's very, very hard to secure a bomb and actually get very good. It's very underrated, and I think bombers always have their place. They're normally most hated in, say, like the Imperial City, especially when there is PvP events. That's when they're normally hated the most, because you do see a lot more bombers, and therefore they do draw a lot more hate. So yeah, but again, like I said, all these builds I do still like. I don't hate on any build setup, but the bomber is definitely another hated one that does draw attention. And the next hated setup is, of course, the werewolf. Again, I used to main werewolf for quite a few years, until they have sort of fallen from grace as such. They are making a bit of a comeback, and obviously they can still be very strong in the right hands. Obviously I'm probably not competent enough to do a super strong build, but I will be doing more builds soon and getting back into the werewolf thing. But again, they do draw a lot of hate because they are sort of like a 1-bar setup, and people hate it because they say it's not skillful. They're very hard to deal with, particularly a strong werewolf. A very competent player. They can be very, very difficult to deal with. They do attract a lot of attention and heat, so normally they get targeted down very, very quickly. But yeah, like I said, you know, they will obviously have their place. They do have some group utility as well. They can provide minor buffs. I think it's minor courage to the group and stuff like that. So yeah, werewolves also do get a lot of hate. It's a shame you don't see more of them, but I think there will be more in the coming patches, which I'm hoping, like I said, and they can be still very, very strong in the right hands. So, but yeah, there we go. Definitely, you do get a lot of hate running werewolf. And the next hated one is, of course, the bash build. People hate bash builds. I've had tons of hate whispers and stuff. Again, particularly if it's like a 1-bar-1, people say it's not very skillful. You're just spamming bash, blah blah blah. A lot of people, if you run a bash build, it does draw a lot of hate. But again, they're very fun to play. People say they're boring to play. I do quite enjoy them, but there is a lot of people that do hate them. Because you're just spamming bash. There is a little bit more to it than just spamming block and bash, but you are using power slam, and obviously you've got to keep your buffs up, and you still have to know what you're doing basically, or you will go down and tank very quickly. But yeah, bash builds are definitely, I would place as number 2 as the absolute most hated of the second place of most hated PvP setups. And of course the final and absolute most hated setup of probably all time, that normally draws the most hate, is literally just pure ganking, which is just a lot of people, you do get a lot of hate, that you can't 1v1, you have to be cowardly. It's seen as a cowardly act, attacking someone from behind, ganking them from surprise, wiping them out, insta-shotting people, and some people do get very, very angry about this. Like I said, I still think it's a fair play style, as with all of these setups. I think they're all fair play styles. Yes, they can be annoying and obnoxious to be killed by or to come up against, but ganking has its place. It can wipe out, say, people sieging, protecting the keep. They all have valid places and points, and they are all valid play styles. So yeah, that's my top 5 most hated PvP setups, in my opinion. So we've got the Hillbot and the Troll Tank, number 5. We've got Bombers, number 4. Werewolf, number 3. Bash, number 2. And ganking is obviously, in my opinion, the number 1 most hated playstyle. But yeah, that's my top 5 picks for the worst, most hated playstyles. Drop this video a like if you enjoyed it. It's just my opinion, like I said. And let me know in the comments what your opinion is. What is the, your top 5, or what is the absolute worst you hate seeing? And, come to the defense of these if you can, or let me know any feedback on what you think of these. So that's the end of the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.